Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my very first sketchbook tour. Not my first sketchbook, but definitely my first sketchbook tour. This last sketchbook that I finished was the Lecterm 1917 sketchbook. I really like this sketchbook, and I'll have it linked down in the description below so that you can get your very own, because they are awesome. I just have a couple of stickers on here. This one I got off of Wish. This was a gift from my mom. These two are from Redbubble. I'm not sure the artist, if I can find them, I will link them down below as well. This one I bought from my own self on Redbubble because I absolutely love bubble tea. And this one, again, from Redbubble, but I don't remember whose it was. But let's go ahead and open this up. So just on this first page, I started something new this time. I wanted to add some more sketchbook goals. I did draw more hands, didn't get any better at them, honestly. I've tried to draw more facial expressions, definitely been working on gestures, but have been mostly focusing on the face and expressions. And I've definitely done more studies and drawing from reference using Pinterest and Google to draw birds, because birds. This is my 5th sketchbook. That's not incredibly accurate, but it's my 5th finished sketchbook. So I finished several more sketchbooks, and let me know down in the comments if you are interested in seeing any of my previous sketchbooks. I started this on Christmas because I got it as a Christmas gift, and finished this February 4th. This first page, I got my Ohuhu markers for Christmas, and I wanted to immediately test out the colors. And then this little bit is actually a Posca pen that I bought myself. So this is the first page I did, just some little sketches just to kind of warm up and practice hands, and just really exploring with how the mediums feel. And my first sketch with my Ohuhu markers, I did this one on Christmas Day. These I think are mostly Christmas Day. That's my mom's foot. It was fun to draw. Just some more sketches, just drawing some faces and some different expressions and gestures. Some more practice with using the Ohuhu markers, getting some hands in there. This is after watching a tutorial by Drawing with Waffles on how she draws hands. So I host an open studio, and some of the girls were doing steampunk kind of feeling drawings the one night, and I felt inspired and decided that a birdcage hair lady would be pretty cool. So I started sketching her out. Never really finished her. Also worked up some steampunk pigeon designs, which was fun because I got to look at pigeons, and pigeons are just really goofy looking. These are just some more pencil sketches that I did. This was for a gift idea for some friends of mine who just had a baby on Christmas Day. That was really exciting. I call her my little sweet potato. This I actually used a reference, but it wasn't a photo reference. I have little figurines that I compose, and I posed one of them and then tried to do a sketch based on that pose, and that was what I came up with. This is one of my last drawings of 2019. I was just a random little mushroom girl, because why not? And then I was introduced to the random Pokemon generator, which is pretty fun. I was enjoying just drawing some random Pokemon that I don't really know much about. Here's some more drawings, and then this one down here is actually my first drawing that I did in this sketchbook in 2020, which is pretty cool. It's another random Pokemon. Do love a good Snorlax. I caught a Snorlax once. And then this sketch I actually did after one of my best friends from college told me that she wanted to get her eyebrow pierced, and this is what I imagined her ending up looking like. She looks nothing like this, but she could look like this. She would be pretty awesome looking if she looked like that. She's already beautiful, but whatever. Some more sketches. Really cool bald chick that I drew. More practice with hands. Very inspired by Pipa's art with the hands floating in space. Here's a goblin lady. Not really sure why. And then another random Pokemon. Some more sketches, just trying to experiment with different face types and different hairstyles. And there's that steampunk chick again. Still haven't done anything with her though. This was me trying to come up with a logo idea for something my mom and I were thinking about starting. And then starting on this page was my planning for the first of Inktober 52, which was Flight. And I started with just kind of like normal thumbnails and things like that, and ended up with a very Romeo and Juliet-esque idea that I explored further then. Some more random sketches, different expressions. I think this one's my favorite of all the expressions in this book. This one I decided to try to do a reference from Michelangelo. So I used his creation of Adam, and then I just wrote create because I was feeling, I don't know, plucky. Here's some more bird drawings. I've decided that puffins are actually the weirdest animals on the planet. They don't look real. And also the Putu owl is my favorite thing. They always just look so shocked. Some more sketches that I did while my husband and I were at Folklore in Elizabethtown. And also a little sketch of Mukbeth, because love cats and love puns. Here's the finished painting that I did for Inktober 52, and I know it's ink drawings that they want, but I'm not good at ink. So painting it was, and this was actually my first successful attempt of painting flowers, really painting in general. And what I do is I like to just lay out the colors, and I do have a full time-lapse video of this painting that I will probably post later on, not sure when, but be on the lookout for that, where I'll explain a little bit more about my process and how I like to lay out all of the basic colors and shapes with acrylics, and then go back in and add all the details with colored pencil. This is just a piece of tracing paper to protect it. There's some more random sketches and a humpback whale in a bottle. This is an idea I had for a sticker that would just be like an artist walking around and be an artist crossing, like moose crossing kind of things. Some sketches, some things I was kind of thinking about with starting a YouTube channel. This was my unfinished Meet the Artist of 2020, showing off that I'm a Hufflepuff. I don't look anything like that, so I will hopefully do a new one. Maybe I'll make that a video. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see that as a video. These are just some more sketches. I was feeling inspired. I don't even know if it was snowing the day that I did this. And then I was just thinking about gnomes, and I found a picture that was pretty much exactly like this on Pinterest. So this is not my own work, and I'm sorry. This was my first ideas for the second week of Inktober 52, which was Shadow. I would like to go back and revisit this because this quilt looks really fun to draw. So I would like to go back and revisit this idea, but I ended up going with something different for the second week of Inktober. This was based off of, I've been playing the Elder Scrolls Blades game on my phone, and I was just kind of like thinking about the characters in there, and then kind of mixing that with a Klingon and also different like African cultures that would do like headhunting and like shave the faces off and use them as belts. So it's kind of like a whole art history but also fantasy idea that I had, and that's all the farther it went. This page was for something for my dad that he wanted for a church game night that they were having, just for a game that they play so that everybody would understand how to play the game, because it's a little bit odd. These were some studies that I did of just different like landscapes. I'm not really great with environment, and also, I'm starting to learn how to paint and work with acrylics, so I was trying to like kind of figure that out. The reason this one is not painted is because these three I actually pulled from a reference, and this one was from my head, and I just didn't like it as much, so I decided not to paint it because it wasn't worth it. It's just some other sketches. These are more sketches of things. These were me trying to figure out how I wanted to incorporate this lovely punk lady in another drawing, and I eventually figured it out. It's very inspired by Alphonse Mucha. I love Art Nouveau, and so I always try to fit some level of Art Nouveau into my pieces if I can. So I was kind of making like this like really dark gothic punk sort of, I don't even think any of those things go together, but it's fine. All of those things into an Alphonse Mucha like kind of feel. So I actually found an Alphonse Mucha image, and if I can figure out how to, I will put it on the screen now for you, so you can see kind of how I was modeling my art after his. Here's me drawing a snake to see if I could draw a cobra to give her a little snake friend. So these 2 pages are, I started having this idea from my mushroom people that it'd be really cool to do a deck of playing cards. I haven't gone into it too much more since this page. There's a couple drawings scattered throughout here of maybe drawings that could be included, but I really want to do like this little like mushroom people idea for a deck of cards. So like the face cards are actual little mushroom people, but then everything else is just like little mushroom houses or just like random little mushrooms. And so then I was like looking up different mushrooms on Pinterest, and you can find so many different mushrooms on Pinterest. It's ridiculous. Here's some more sketches of that. I have a little mushroom house based off of this mushroom and a stack of snails, which then I made into a little mushroom person with a stack of snails, and this lady is very concerned. So this is what I ended up coming up with for my second idea for Shadow for Inktober 52. And then some like really depressing thing that I thought about. But this is what I ended up going with. This is my original sketch. And then I kind of played around with maybe doing a full body and having her like being more like a puppet for them. But then I ended up going with this, but making her look kind of sad because this didn't seem right. And then I also thought the eyes made it kind of goofy. Some more mushrooms, a jellyfish, because for those who may know me from college, I love jellyfish and I love to draw them. And then also this gazelle because it was just so cute. And here's my finished painting for the shadow drawing. I unfortunately don't have a time-lapse one of this one, but I really like how it turned out. These are sketches that I did while my husband and one of his friends were talking about starting a podcast here where we live, just about like the different creators that live in our community and how they're like giving back to the community and helping the community grow. And so these are just things that I was drawing. I really like how that one turned out, even though the hand's not so great. This was for the 3rd week of Inktober 52, which was brick. And my first thought was just drawing like a really old house because I love like cottage houses and like fairy houses. So it's kind of like thinking about that vibe. And then I was thinking about ancient ruins and having them be like covered in graffiti and having the graffiti say I was beautiful once, because in reality, like we look at ruins and sure, we know that they were beautiful, but they don't necessarily look beautiful. Like they're usually run down or completely torn apart, and we have no idea what they could have looked like, but they were beautiful once. And here's a colored sketch I did of that and drawing of some ruins I found on Pinterest. But then I abandoned that idea, drew Superhero Girl, because why not? And then decided that maybe a mushroom house with some snails on a brick wall was better suited to what I wanted to do. So that's what I did. I'm not entirely happy with how it turned out, but the brick texture is really nice and the snails are cute. So like the way I added in the kind of the chimney smoke from the mushroom house. I feel like having a fire in a mushroom house would be a really bad idea. Like a fire would just cook the mushroom, which make it delicious, but not livable. These are some sketches that I'm pretty sure I did at church. Sorry, Pastor Paul. I was paying attention though. We did a song called The Lion and the Lamb, and so I drew a lion and a lamb, and then these other drawings may or may not have happened at church. I'm not sure. Don't quite remember. Here's some drawings I did of cats from just some gesture drawings that I found on Pinterest, just trying to like figure out how to draw cats because I love cats and I'm allergic to them and I love them. So I'm going to draw them as much as possible. Here's a squid lady and also a really derpy looking fish that we should probably just move on from. This page, I'm not really happy with many of the drawings. I do like her expression, and I really like just this gesture of this cat who's like so happy that he knocked down this plant. Like he's like, aren't you proud of me? This is a cat bowling ball because this bowling ball of a cat looked like a bowling ball. So I drew him as a bowling ball. This was just some more sketches. I tried to draw my husband playing the guitar, but it ended up looking like he had a T-Rex arm. And then this was me practicing drawing some snakes for the next week of Inktober, which was snake. I didn't end up doing anything with that week. I'm not really sure why, but I did have fun trying to draw snakes and like this guy's tiny little head. What even are snakes? Here's some more sketches I did, and then me trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my next phone case, because I like to draw my own phone case. I have a clear case that I can put art behind, so I change it out like every couple months. Here's where I revisited some of my ideas for that deck of cards I was talking about earlier in the video. Like having this like little mushroom guy king, and then thought about putting snails on it and maybe making the outfit more intense. But I think this is probably the last drawing in this sketchbook that goes along with that theme. Drew a Sphinx cat. I don't know how I feel about Sphinx cats. They're not fluffy, but I also probably am not allergic to them, so I gotta try to warm up to the idea of a Sphinx cat. Here's some just more sketches of cats, and then an astronaut cat. And then this was me just drawing a really, really awful looking gnome, and then planning out for another spread, which would be some gnomes things. This was a sketch for a sketchbook that I was thinking about making after this one, and I did make it, and I did decorate it. I haven't finished the drawing on that one yet, though. This was a sketch of my sweet potato. And also, what if the moon was made of cheese? So this is a spread I did thinking that I might actually populate this with information about gnomes and fung folk, as I'm calling them, which is people of the stool, which sounds really gross and also really hilarious. And then this was me planning out a mug. I was in for a ceramics teacher for a couple of weeks, and I was trying to come up with an idea to do for a coil mug, since the ceramics one kids were doing coil mugs. And this was what I ended up wanting to do, and I didn't finish it because I am awful at ceramics, as it turns out. If it's not Sculpey, I'm not good at it. And then this was the start of my sketches for the 5th week of Inktober, which was Balloon. I was really excited about this week and then didn't do anything with it. But I really love drawing hot air balloons. I'm really into those, and so I was trying to come up with an idea that I could do for that, but then I got too busy and couldn't really think of one. So I was just going through sketching a lot of balloons, thinking about, I did a circus illustration once with a steampunky hot air balloon kind of circus. Here's what I did. It was a teacup balloon with a mushroom, teacup basket with a mushroom balloon. And then I thought, well, what if it had a little mouse in it? But then it was, what if it was just a couple little people? And then I thought about the movie 9 and was like, whoa, what if it was little sack people? Because those are cute. But I never went any further with that. But here's my thanks for flipping through page. And then the little folder, which has like nothing in it. I mean, there's a little thing from Folklore, because that's cute. But that is my last sketchbook that I finished in February 4th. So hopefully I will be able to show you some of my sketches, maybe do a sketch with me video at some point in my new sketchbook, which I've already started and I'm really enjoying. But I did like this sketchbook. I do want to get more of them. I do suggest it. It works really great. The markers do bleed through if you use markers on it, but it holds up really nicely to paint. As I found out, I don't even remember where that was. holds up to paint. Really, it works with markers, and if you're not worried about having your sketches bleed through, it's not a big deal. I really liked it, and it was nice. It's one of the first sketchbooks that I've actually pretty much drawn on every single page. Like, I finished sketchbooks, but did any of us ever really finish sketchbooks? There's usually a couple pages that are left blank anyway. So, but I really enjoyed the sketchbook, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye!